We are going live in about 10 seconds.
All right, 10 seconds, Glenn.
Okay, do it again.
We are currently live.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, this is Glenn Spieth. Call the meeting to order. Could we have roll call?
Glenn Spieth,
Yes.
Beth Campbell,
Present.
Joan Cooley,
Present.
Bill Elder.
Here.
Chair, you have quorum.
Okay, any changes to the agenda? Or can we go ahead and accept it?
Bill Elder, none.
All right, those in favor of accepting the agenda, say aye.
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 All right, the agenda is approved. We'll look at the minutes for February 27th. Gee, that was a long time ago. And when you're ready, somebody want to say that approved or?
This is Bill Elder. I move that the minutes for February 27th be approved as written.
All right. Is there a second?
This is Beth. I will second that.
Okay. It's been approved and seconded that we accept the minutes of February 27th. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Bill Elder, aye.
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 All right. Any announcements?
None from city staff.
Okay. Any public comments?
I do not see that any additional attendees or participants have joined us. I will notify you if they do.
All right. Reports by the Historic Preservation Officer or staff.
So for this portion, I am going to open up the PowerPoint. Bill, can you please confirm that you can see the PowerPoint? Oh, there it is. Bill, are you seeing the PowerPoint?
I am not. I can't.
This is Glenn. I cannot see it. I don't have my iPad open.
No.
All
I have my
see is
printout. I'm good to go.
phone numbers. Okay. Yeah.
Are we
Well,
seeing it
online.
now? Bill, are you seeing the PowerPoint now?
No, but I have a copy, so.
Joan does not have a copy, nor can I pull it up on my computer. And I'm having serious vision problems tonight, so I will just have to listen.
Okay, I just want to make sure that it's being viewed, that we can see it on YouTube or Zoom.
Okay.
But I believe
Courtney,
that
I can see it.
okay, perfect. Thank you, Karen. So here I have the regular meeting agenda, including the public comment and testimony. Just to anybody who does join us, please, we encourage public participation. You can join by selecting the link or entering in the link displayed on the screen or by dialing in. So the first item that we have on our agenda for preparing for the remainder of 2020, fourth quarter. So for that, I would like to introduce/reintroduce Ramon Rodriguez. Ramon Rodriguez is our associate planner here at the City of Lakewood. And in my absence between October and February 2021, he will be filling in for LHAB. So his primary focus with LHAB will be assisting with the 2020 work plan items, which we will discuss tonight. assisting with developing the 2021 work plan, preparing agendas for any meetings that are held between October and February of 2021. And then I have also listed his email and phone number for any of you should you need to get in contact with him. So I will be out in October through February 2021, and then I will be rejoining as the staff lead in March.
Okay.
That is all that I have, Glenn, for this portion of the agenda.
We can go to unfinished business, historic street sign program.
Right, so for the historic street signs program, the first I have here is an image of what we had originally approved late last year for us to apply for the Pierce County Historic Preservation Grant. We had selected these streets based on their historic significance, and then late last year, we went through the process of deciding what the names they would be recognized by, or if there was a historic name that they would be recognized by, how that would display on the signs. So when we last met, we had finalized that and we were close to being ready to order the signs. I just wanted to give an update that working with staff, we identified 64 sign locations, which are currently displayed on the screen. So for Bridgeport Way, Motor Avenue, Hipkins Road, Lakewood Avenue, Pacific Highway, and Stillicum Boulevard, combined all of those intersections totals 64 signs. Some of them have a historic name that they are going by. Hipkins Road will be Prairie Road. Lakeview Ave will be Old Tacoma Speedway. Pacific Highway will be Historic Highway 99. And Stillicum Boulevard, the Bird Mill Road. And then we have two streets that are being recognized with no historic name, and that's Bridgeport Way and Motor Avenue. So exciting update. We now have the signs, and I have an example posted showing what they look like. So you can see that for example, Bridgeport Way, which doesn't have a historic name, just says Bridgeport Way Southwest. These will go in place of the green signs that are currently displayed. And then the historic name signs, the one that I have on the slide is historic name Prairie Road. These will go next to the currently recognized name. So for phase 2 of this project, because of COVID, there have been changes that have been made to the budget. And we currently, and we knew this last year going into this year, that we are contracting for our signal technicians with Pierce County. And so due to workload, we are needing to push the installation of the signs into next year. And we are proposing to apply for another Pierce County Historic Preservation Grant in order to fund the sign installation. So right now we have the signs, and then we will be looking to have Pierce County install the signs if we are awarded the grant for next year. So I have here what the 2021 preservation grant schedule looks like. They have adjusted the dates a little bit from what we were used to with our last application process. So now the grant cycle will open in November of this year. Applications will be due in January. And then the commission will review the applications and vote in January to February with a resolution to appropriate the funds in March. And that lines up perfectly with when we would be looking to have the signs installed, because they typically do so in spring or summer, when we would be having maintenance done on our signals already. So rather than having the signal techs go out in order to save money, we're going to use the time that they are already scheduled to go out and add this as an additional task. Here, I believe that is my only update for the historic street signs program.
Okay, anybody have any comments?
None.
Sounds very efficient.
Yeah, sounds like we're kind of up to date, even though it's been a long process. We got approved for the money to start with, right? For the signs that we have on the list.
Yes, so all of those signs, this portion of the project is fully funded. We have all 64 signs in storage. They actually just arrived this week. And they are very carefully, our operations and maintenance crew have assured me that they're in a very safe location and are going to be well taken care of until we are able to install them next year.
Okay, so we're fully on track with a grant and ready to continue on when the process is working.
Yes.
All right. Are we done with this the street program? Anybody have any comments?
None.
Okay, we'll continue on with new business.
So we have been scheduled for a joint city council and landmarks on September 14th, which is 3 Mondays from now. And so in advance of that meeting, I wanted to make sure we were all able to get together and discuss what had originally been in our work plan going into this year, what we've been able to accomplish, and what items we may be able to accomplish given the current situation with COVID-19 and the pandemic and having limitations with some of our work plan items for the rest of 2020. So the work plan item to implement, the first one that I want to discuss is the implementation of the Historic Streets Recognition Program. Going into 2020, we were hoping that we would be able to have all of the signs ordered and installed. As I just discussed, we're having to push back installation a little bit due to the pandemic and funding. But we're optimistic that we'll be able to do that next year. The next item on the work plan was that we would continue to work with Clover Park School District to incorporate local Lakewood history into the curriculum. As I'm sure you can imagine, the school district has been very busy readjusting their curriculum to a virtual learning model. One of the things that we had discussed was developing a pop-up museum once school was back in session. And I think that that's still something that we should pursue, but we're going to have to wait until school is back in session in order to have that idea fully come to life. The next item that was on our work plan was to research grant opportunities to fund additional historic markers throughout the city of Lakewood. I said essentially this is on hold, that the current focus has been on applying for funding to complete the Historic Streets program. And then our next work plan item was to update the Lakewood touring map to include historic streets identified through the recognition program. This is something that we discussed in January and February. If you all recall, I believe that each member took home a copy of the existing map to kind of make edits. I do think that we need to resume this discussion and update the map once the signs have been installed, as well as incorporate any edits that the group identifies. The next item on the work plan was to work with Pretty Gritty Tours to develop a walking tour program for the city of Lakewood. This is currently on hold. The next work plan item was to develop frequently asked questions to be included on the LHAB website. I propose that this is one area that the board could continue to focus on in the fourth quarter of 2020, since this is something that is relatively easy to do virtually. So with this, perhaps each board member comes up with a list of questions and answers, and then we will use Ramon Rodriguez, or Ramon Rodriguez would organize and post it to the website. So we are able to accomplish this work plan item. The next item on our work plan was to explore the use of the community landmark designation for a variety of buildings located throughout the city. I will provide an update that prior to March and one time since March and May, I have had discussions with Thornwood Castle regarding potential minor renovations. And I have brought up the idea of them possibly becoming a designated Lakewood landmark. There may be interest there. So this is another opportunity for a potential focus for the fourth quarter of 2020. If maybe the board members would be interested in reaching out to some of the different properties to discuss information. This is another thing that could be done virtually or over the phone where we wouldn't necessarily have to meet in person. The next item on the work plan is that we work on recruitment of new LHAB members to serve on LHAB. This is actively underway. And then the last is that we actively engage with the City of Lakewood Youth Council. So just today I discussed with city staff, they are still planning to do a Lakewood Youth Council. Their first virtual meeting will be September 14th, which is also the date of our joint city council meeting. Their meeting time is at 5 p.m. and they have asked that either a member of the board or a representative from the board make a presentation at the youth council meeting, and it will also be held via Zoom. So there would be an opportunity to call in or to attend via Zoom to discuss what LHAB does, what we hope to accomplish, and maybe how a youth council member might be able to participate. In addition to that, I also proposed to this staff member that they consider if there's anything that maybe the youth council would like for LHAB to participate more actively than just having a youth council member. So perhaps we share information about the reconnaissance level survey that we did last year, or open a Q&A for the youth council members to ask our board members any questions that may come to mind about local Lakewood history, something of that nature. So also exploring those ideas in order for us to accomplish this work program or work plan program to actively engage with the City of Lakewood Youth Council. So I wanted to have this discussion prior to the council meeting on September 14th. That council meeting will also be attended via Zoom. So the instructions I'll send out instructions the week prior for how to log in and participate. I propose that we designate a single individual to present our work plan item updates, which items are on hold, which items are actively underway, and our progress with the Historic Streets Recognition Program. And then from there, we can answer, the board will be able to answer any questions that council may have. That is all that I have for the work plan update and the joint city council meeting.
This is Beth. So it looks like we're actually going to be pretty busy for the last quarter of 2020.
There are definitely,
given a pandemic.
yes, there are definitely still areas that we can continue to work on. So the facts, we've had this work plan item, the explore the use of the community landmark designation for a variety of locations on our work plan for several years. And I know that we have made an effort at different times in different ways to do that work plan item. So one possibility might be right now that we reach out to folks via the phone, call them and see if they'd be interested, as well as the engaging with the youth council. So I would love to hear ideas for how we might be able to remotely actively engage with the youth council, or perhaps approach Clover Park regarding curriculum that we could do in this virtual learning atmosphere.
I need some virtual museum tours. We got a couple of those. We got the Lakewood Historic Society Museum and the fort. Do the officers' quarters and stuff. So that might be kind of cool. People can go visit without actually going to visit.
It's a great idea. And do you know if those already exist, those virtual tours?
I don't know. You know, I'm pretty sure the Historic Society hasn't done one, but I don't know about Fort Silicon. Maybe.
It does appear that we may have lost Glenn. So our co-chair, we may need you to step in for the adjourning of the meeting. Should Glenn not be able to join us back. Any other ideas or discussion regarding the joint city council meeting, or how we might be able to with youth council, maybe moving that forward with the FAQ section? Any additional conversation?
I see my assignment there. I need to think of some frequently asked questions.
Yes, I think that if each of the board members maybe could come up with some, and this might be another opportunity for us to engage with the Historical Society, because I know that they do already have some frequently asked questions on their website, so we might be able to expand on what they already have.
Joan here. Could we, as we consider frequently asked questions, could we just email them to Karen and let her compile them? So we have a single repository, or is that against open meeting rules? If we don't need to send it to all, just to Karen.
You can send things directly to Karen, yes.
Okay.
And we could form a subcommittee as well with just 2 individuals if there were a couple of people that wanted to spearhead that task without violating that act. It's just when we have a quorum. So in our situation, that would be 3 folks together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if we send in our questions, then we'll kind of know, like, if we overlap.
Yeah.
Then Carol will know. She'll say, well, all 4 of you have put this question down, so maybe we need to do it.
Yeah.
Great. Well, Mr. Elder, you are our co-chair or vice chair. So if you are able to, let me share my screen again so that you can see where we are at on the agenda.
I have a copy in front of me.
Perfect. I will notify you if Glenn is able to rejoin our meeting or when he does. Otherwise, please feel free to leave the meeting.
Are we through? Oh, I see. You're asking me about adjournment.
Yes, or I think we still have next meeting scheduled. I don't know if there's any other conversations pertaining to the new business.
No, I'm not aware of any. I think you picked the date of the 24th, and all we would have to do would be to affirm that if it can be tentatively scheduled.
Yes, so right now the meeting is tentatively scheduled for September 24th. And we will send out notifications like we have been if we're able to meet in person or not. I anticipate that we will likely have another Zoom meeting. And based off of that, it will be much like this one. So this one was kind of our test run. In addition to that, we do have the City Council Joint LHAB meeting on September 14th. So please reserve that time. We will be first on the agenda at 7 p.m. to give our update.
Okay, then in lieu of the chair's presence, I would pronounce the meeting adjourned.
Thank you, co-chair. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thank you, everybody.